Alright, tonight's homework, we want to focus on proportions, and we're going to review that concept, which is 0, 10, HW1 proportions. And you're going to make sure you complete the whole Google form, top to bottom, problems 1 through 10. And this is what the concept's all about. We're going to review a couple problems, make sure we feel comfortable with it, and you're going to fill out the rest of them. So, when we have a proportion like this, n divided by 10, it's equal to 5 divided by 9. Our goal is to find out what is the value of that variable, in this case n. What we always got to do with proportions, we cross multiply. The numerator on the left hand side of the fraction is being multiplied with the denominator on the fraction on the right hand side. So we have n times 9. So it'll be 9n, and then 10 times 5. So 9n is equal to 10 times 5, which is 50. Now we have to get n all by itself. So the opposite of divide by times 9 is divide by 9. So we divide by 9 to both sides, and we get n equals, well, we type that into the calculator, 50 divided by 9. And that gets us a unique little decimal, but here on our multiple choice, our answer is just 50 divided by 9. That makes it nice and simple, which is option D in our multiple choice. And that's problem number 1. Next up, we'll do problem number 5. Problem number 5. Alright, this is problem number 5 on your homework. We have a negative fraction here, negative 3 over x equals 5 over 3. And our goal is to find the variable x, what the value of that variable is. So anytime you have a sign in front of the fraction, what I always recommend doing is putting that negative either on the top or on the bottom. You can pick either one. In this case, I'm going to put it with the number, with 3. So I'm going to rewrite the equation. Be negative 3 over x is equal to 5 over 3. Then we're going to cross multiply. Negative 3 times 3 gets us negative 9 equals x times 5, which gets you 5x. We cross multiply. This is 5 times x, so the inverse operation is divide by 5. So we x equals, well, negative 9 over 5. Now that doesn't divide out nice and pretty for a nice pretty integer, so we're going to leave it as negative 9 over 5. It also doesn't simplify any further. So it'll be x equals negative 9 over 5. That's the answer to problem number 5, which is B in our multiple choice. So number 5 is B. Next up, we'll do problem number 7. Alright, this is problem number 7. We have a proportion here, and our goal is to find out what is the value of A, that variable A. So notice here, this problem is a little bit different. We have two terms located in the numerator of this fraction on the right-hand side. Anytime you have multiple terms, it's a good idea to put parentheses around them, especially when you're going to cross multiply. Now, 3 times 4, you know, is 12. Now this 8 is going to be multiplied to both the A and the 7. So 8 times A plus 7. The parentheses, it helps remind us to distribute, which is our next step. We're going to distribute. So we're going to have 12 equals 8A plus 8 times 7. Well, that's 28 times 2, which is 56. Then what we do, we subtract 56 from both sides, which we get then negative 44 equals 8A. We then divide by 8, and we get A equals, well, negative 44 divided by 8 gets us negative 11 over 2. Negative 11 over 2, which is D. Now remember, you're simplifying fractions, so if you had some trouble with that, negative 44 over 2, and we want to simplify the fraction part, negative 44 over 8. you have to ask yourself what number goes into both the numerator and the denominator. What's the greatest common factor? Well, I know 4 goes into 8, and 4 also goes into 44. So negative 44 divided by 4, and 8 divided by 4, that could help simplify this fraction. Negative 44 divided by 4 gets us negative 11. 8 divided by 4 gets us 2. And that's how we get that simplified fraction of 11 over 2. Negative 11 over 2, which is D. The last problem that we're going to do is problem number 9. Problem number 9. Now notice with this problem, here in problem number 9, we got 2 n's in our problem. So which is going to involve a combined like terms or variables on both sides later on in the problem during our work. But not to worry, because we know how to solve those. I notice here in the denominator of the one fraction there's 2 terms, so I'm going to put parentheses around that because it's multiple terms. Then I'm going to cross multiply, like what we've been doing. N times 2 gets us 2n. 8 times n plus 9 is 8, parentheses, n plus 9. This is 8 times the entire denominator. That's why we write it out like that. With those parentheses, it helps us to remind us to distribute. So you have 2n equals 8n plus, well, 8 times 9. We could use our fingers and say 72. In fact, I'm going to subtract 8n from both sides. That's variables on both sides using our inverse operations. 2n minus 8n gets us negative 6n. And that equals 72. Now we're going to use our inverse operations again and divide by negative 6. And we're going to get n equals, well, 72 divided by negative 6 gets us negative 12. So the answer for number 9 is n equals negative 12, which is C in our multiple choice. It is C in multiple choice. Actually, let's do one more problem. Let's do problem number 4. Alright, here's problem number 4. The reason why I want to go over that, because they have a minus sign in both of these 2 little terms here. 2 little fractions. Now remember, with that minus sign, we could put either on the top or on the bottom. One or the other. We don't want to put it onto both. So with this minus sign, I'm going to put it on the bottom. So it'll be m over negative 2. And with this minus sign, let's stay consistent. Let's put that negative sign on the bottom. So it'll be equal to 10 over negative 4. What we then do, we cross multiply. So it's negative 4m equals negative 2 times 10 gets us negative 20. Then what we do, since that's multiplication, the inverse operation is divide by negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 gets us 1. Negative 20 divided by negative 4 gets us positive 5. So our answer for number 4 is B, which is m equals 5, which is choice B. Alright, so it's your job to finish off the rest of these problems. Fill out all the problems on the Google form, numbers 1 through 10, and make sure you hit submit. Now remember, you could always come to extra help after school, and you can even ask questions during class. Alright, have yourself a good night now.